well, and they're also involving the kids now. I've called police several times. They've asked me to come and fill out reports, fear of retaliation, because these are older people that are drawing the younger kids in, and they're gathering in the parking lots and the parking areas and out in the streets. And I'm afraid what's going to happen is the citizens of Raytown are going to be licensed to carry. And then you're going to have a bigger problem, because if they're licensed to carry, they're not going to take this off of the kids. They're going to start retaliating, and somebody's going to get hurt. A lot of us have put alarms in, a lot of us have dogs, a lot of us have come up with a lot of different ways to try and solve the problem, but once again, the problem is on the parents. I'm a parent of children, and I chose to have those children. I chose to raise those children. I choose to do things to keep my child active. There are things that can be done in Raytown, and those kids can get involved. My biggest problem is the kids that come from Brittany Place. They gather in front of my house, and then there's some duplexes behind me. They come over. I'm not afraid of them. Like I said, I work in the Kansas City, Missouri School District. I'm not afraid of kids. So I will go out and I will approach the kids and tell them to leave my property. I don't have any problems. They don't come back. They don't retaliate, because if they do, I'll call the police or something to that nature. But I'm just afraid. I've talked to some of their parents, and talking to their parents was just like talking to this. But I'm here because I think if it doesn't get resolved, you're going to see the adults retaliating against the children, and you really don't want that to happen, because the adults know that they can go out and be licensed to carry. And I personally don't want to hurt any children or anything like that, but I will speak very sternly to them, and I will ask them to go get their parents. I'm not afraid in that manner. I just don't want anything to happen to the kids. I just would like something to happen to the adults in those apartments that are drawing those kids in and making them do those things. And I've called the police several times. They've done different watches. They've come over and they've spoken to me, and I've identified several people, but they're running other things through those apartments too, and you guys need to be aware of that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Jennifer Cantrell. I don't have anybody else signed up after Ms. Cantrell, so please get to the sign-up sheet if you still want to speak. Yep. Good evening.
Good evening. Actually, that was my husband, Three Hawks, that was speaking, and he's wrong. It's actually been 3 years since we unfolded our tents in Raytown. So we've actually had quite a chance to have a look at all of Raytown. And I'm actually here to say goodbye to you. The moving trucks come on the 19th, because in our community, we vote with our feet. And I just thought I would share with you a few comments, a few insights that I've had, and I would like to make you keenly aware that you're looking at a crowd that has their arms tightly folded across their chests. They're not happy campers at all. If you find a smiling face in that crowd, then somebody's just heard a joke. Okay? There are 2 Raytowns. And I'm very tired of living in the Raytown that I live in, and I'm moving to Blue Springs Saturday. And let me tell you, I can't get there fast enough. All right, when I first moved to Raytown, I came from a place where people were people, and I was perfectly happy to be living in Raytown. And I have been tripped, and I have been shoved, and I have been cut in front of, and I have been cursed out, and I have had enough problems in Raytown that, like I said, we don't have fights, we don't have confrontations, we vote with our feet. And one thing that I know that you guys know about is you know about a voter base and you know about a tax base. And the people that have money are leaving Raytown, and they are taking their tax money with them. And the people that don't have money, Well, they're stuck in Raytown. Or maybe they're like a lot of these people and they're very attached to their homes. I don't know if you've been driving up and down the streets of my part of Raytown, but you start looking, you're going to see for sale signs on every single block, every third house. Their houses are for sale, house for sale, house for sale, because they are tired of it. And it isn't because they're tired of their neighbors' kids, okay? It is because there are two Raytowns, and they don't get along, and they are not happy, all right? And I can tell looking at you guys, most of you guys, you do not live in my Raytown, all right? You do not live in my Raytown. You do not shop at my grocery store that I no longer shop at. I drive out of my way. In fact, I don't even shop in Raytown if I can possibly avoid it, okay? Because most of the stores that are close to where I live in Raytown, I am not welcome. So I don't go there. I got the point. And it's not the stores themselves, it's not the clerks, but it's the other shoppers. It's the other people. So there's stores that I can go to, and there's stores that I'm going to be made uncomfortable at. So I don't find that when I shop in Blue Springs. I don't find that when I shop in Independence. So my tax money, we're going to Blue Springs. Now, the people that are stuck here, okay, they don't have enough money that they can vote with their feet, okay? But they've got enough money that they can go out and they can start taking the class for their concealed carry permit. And unless you guys start putting together not a recreation program for kids that their parents didn't teach them, that you've got chores to do at home, you've got things to do at home, you need to learn how to entertain yourself because the world does not owe you. And you do not need to go out and jump somebody's butt because they're a different skin color than you are. You need to have something going on so that there are not two Raytowns, so that people can go into any store in Raytown that they want and not be shoved into a shelf because somebody of a different skin color thinks that it's more important that they walk past you and they have a chip on their shoulder. All right? So you better get some commissions together. You better get some people talking to some people. You better get something going on. Or I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, mark my words, there are going to be a lot more people besides me voting with their feet, and it's going to be the people that you've got your tax base that have the dollars. And what you're going to have left behind are going to be the unhappy campers that have just enough money to get a gun. Because let me tell you, if I wasn't leaving on that truck on Saturday, Monday, I'd be signing up for that concealed weapons course. Thank you very much. And you know what? I really hope you will think about what I said because I've had 3 years to think it over. And I have thought about it very, very carefully. I've lived in almost every state in this country, and I've lived in quite a few other countries too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Goodbye.
Tammy Francisco, please. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I live at 8492 Lane Drive and apartment 4, and I have seen much of what's been spoken tonight go on in my neighborhood. I've heard gunshots. I've laid down at night at 12 midnight and wham, somebody's windshield got busted in. So we all ran out there, and just the next door down from mine, or two. And at the end of last fall, I heard a lot of commotion outside, looked out front, and there was about 20 to 25 teenagers all standing around egging a couple of girls on that were fighting. And the two girls, one girl was yanking the other girl. The other girl was on the ground and she was yanking her by her hair. And when I said, hey, and kind of broke it up, called the police, came back out there, I saw blood on one of the girls just dripping down her face. I don't know where it came from. So just wanted to share my